Welcome back, everyone. I figured this would be a great follow-up to my last Social Security video. I want to discuss essentially what plans are out there in words in a piece of legislation that could bolster Social Security and save the program. As we've talked about numerous times, the Social Security trust funds are expected to run out in roughly a decade, and that could mean cuts to your Social Security benefits in order to keep the program going. And so right now, as of this moment, there is no plan. There is nothing in place implemented to save the program, and unfortunately, that will mean bad news for current applicants, people that are looking to get on Social Security, as well as people that have been collecting for many years. It also means people that will eventually retire within the next decade, and we could see absolute chaos with our seniors, our elderly, that count on this income to survive and put food on the table. So I want to unpack the current legislation out there, mostly from Democratic politicians. You don't see these come from the right, unfortunately, but maybe there could be some bipartisanship and we could hopefully see a deal made and ultimately get through and then signed by President Biden. So I want to talk about these bills. Let's get started and get right down to it. But before we do, as always, make sure you guys do a couple things for me. Number one, give this video a tremendous thumbs up, smash the like button. I would appreciate that. If this video gets to 500 likes, we will do a cash giveaway where we give away $100 to a few of you lucky subscribers. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed and have those notifications turned on. We'll be doing another cash giveaway once we hit 20,000 subscribers, which could be right around the corner. You'll have to be subscribed to be entered in that giveaway. You might as well get it out of the way now. With that being said, let's get started and dive right in. So depending on who you listen to, within about a decade, 12, 13 years, the Social Security funds will dry out, and so several plans have been introduced by Democrats to shore up the program and ultimately save it. All of these plans sound fabulous and would provide more generous benefits to seniors and the disabled. But of course, there's always the question of how is this going to be paid for? Where is the money coming from? Well, luckily, Democrats have a plan for that as well. So firstly, let's start with this plan that came from two Washington Democrats, Senator Mazie Hirono of Hawaii and Representative Ted Deutsch of Florida, teamed up last week to reintroduce legislation to strengthen Social Security. Their bill, the Protecting and Preserving Social Security Act, aims to extend the program's ability to pay benefits. Again, the SSA, or Social Security Administration, projects that funds will run out by the year of 2035, in which case only 80% of benefits will be payable. And while 80% is still the vast majority, who knows what inflation will look like in the next 10, 15 years. We want to make sure that we get 100% of those benefits, not a fraction. But Hirono and Deutsch's proposal would extend that by bringing the depletion date to 2052, according to an analysis of the plan by the SSA's Office of the Chief Actuary. In addition, by the end of the projected 75-year period, it would reduce the federal deficit by about $12.3 trillion. Representative Deutsch said in a statement, quote, "Every day I hear stories from seniors in my district about the importance of their Social Security checks to their quality of life and to their day-to-day survival. This bill will not only continue these life-saving benefits, but strengthen them for decades to come." And we want to make sure these benefits can survive at least a few more decades. We don't want to have these benefits run dry and then have to scramble to do legislation that would save them, or a short-term idea or short-term answer. We want to make sure that we get this done ASAP now, so that way we don't have to worry about it in the future, because if it gets down to the nitty-gritty, the last minute, well, I doubt we're going to make that deadline. Other Democrats have also proposed similar plans that would extend that timeline while also making the benefits more generous. We talked about the Social Security Expansion Act many times on this channel. That was put forward by Senators Bernie Sanders as well as Elizabeth Warren, and also Representative Peter DeFazio. They have a great idea, and it would do everything that we've talked about. Then there was another bill that was reintroduced last year called the Social Security 2100, a Sacred Trust. That was put forth by Representative John Larson, and that bill also details a step-by-step plan that would provide benefits and make sure that the SSA has a lifeline. The exact details do vary, but They all have similar goals, but how would these plans be paid for? What is their idea to make sure that the bill is covered? Well, the easiest, simplest way would be raising taxes on the wealthy. Currently, Social Security is funded through payroll taxes of 6.2%, paid by both workers and their employers, but those taxes only apply to incomes up to $147,000 as of 2022. Hirono and Deutsch's bill calls for phasing out the cap over the next 7 years. For contributions above the cap, it would provide additional benefits. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren's plan would apply the payroll tax on all incomes above $250,000. This would also include capital gains, and it would also include taxes on net investment income as well as other certain business income. John Larson's bill calls for applying the payroll tax on income above $400,000. The difference between the current cap and the $400,000 threshold, which is also commonly known as a donut hole, would eventually close as the cap goes up every year. Now, each Democratic bill touts different various ways of putting more money in Social Security beneficiaries' pockets. The bill from Hirono and Deutsch makes it so that way a deceased beneficiary's family does not have to return their last Social Security check. The Sanders and Warren bill calls for giving beneficiaries an extra $2,400 per year or $200 per month. The proposal would also include a higher minimum benefit indexed to 125% of the poverty line. It would also restore student benefits up to age 22 for children of disabled or deceased workers. That bill would make it a lot more inclusive for a lot of people. John Larson's proposal would give all beneficiaries about a 2% increase on the average benefit check. The minimum benefit would also be set above the poverty line. It also includes provisions to improve benefits for widows and widowers while repealing rules that would reduce benefits for public servants, known as the Windfall Elimination Provision, or WEP, and the Government Pension Offset, commonly known as the GPO. But the biggest problem with seniors and their Social Security benefits is that their checks do not keep up with the pace of their living costs and the pace of inflation. So thankfully, if we were to flip a coin, or maybe a coin that had three sides, and say which of these three bills would ultimately pass, all of them would in fact change the way that COLA, or cost of living, is calculated. So it doesn't matter which of these bills pass, it would index it so that way it keeps up with the pace of inflation and seniors' living costs. Specifically, the adjustments would be measured by the CPIE, or Consumer Price Index, for the elderly. That would be a better measure for seniors, as they have other additional expenses that perhaps middle-aged or younger people do not have, such as Medicare and other health-related expenses that younger people simply do not face. Now, the key difference between these plans is how far out they extend Social Security's solvency. The Hirono and Deutsch bill is expected to extend solvency until the year of 2052. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren's plan would be expected to fully fund the program for the next 75 years, or roughly past 2096. John Larson's bill, on the other hand, has the shortest time frame because it would only extend the depletion by up to 2038. So because of that, the latest iteration of the Social Security 2100 bill has drawn some criticism naturally, and the previous version of that bill actually was expected to fund the program for over the next century. With his bill, according to analysts, by the year of 2039, Congress would have to act ASAP right away in order to avoid insolvency and depletion of the program. So while Larson's bill would be the least favorable outcome for seniors, because there's no guarantee that Congress would be able to act by 2039 and keep the program afloat, it also has the most support. It actually has 202 co-sponsors in the House of Representatives. All of the plans do have major endorsements and acknowledgments by some of the biggest organizations in support for seniors and Medicare, and so any of these bills would ultimately be good. Anything is better than nothing. Of course, the biggest question mark is how soon can this be done? How fast could we get something passed and through the Congress and then ultimately signed by the president? There are hopes that this could be implemented before the end of this year, but I think that's just unrealistic and unlikely, especially with the holiday season coupled with the midterm elections. It's going to be madness. And so there is a time frame, there is a period of time between, let's say, January of 2023 up until campaign season of 2024. That's when some real activity, some real action can be taken, and I think the Democrats, if they maintain power after the midterms, would want to see something happen because they're going to need the seniors' votes come 2024 because that's a large part of their constituency. And if the Democrats maintain control and yet still do nothing for seniors, that would be a terrible look and they can lose a lot of voters. I'm curious what your favorite bill is. Definitely do your due diligence on them and study them, research them, but I am wondering what your favorite bill out of these three, or maybe some other ideas or proposals that you've heard previously and something that we've talked about on this channel. What's your favorite idea? What's your favorite bill? Let us know down below in the comment section. I'm curious to hear. You just think something's got to give here. Someone's got to ram a bill through Congress ASAP because the people need it, and it is super important that we do not forget about our seniors and the disabled. All these bills would be fantastic. Let's try to get one of them through. Tell your representatives, tell your senators to act. More news and developments will follow suit. Hope you folks enjoyed this video. Make sure you share with a friend. Get the word out, spread it on social media. Smash the like button, I'd appreciate that. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed and have those notifications turned on. That will notify you every time we do post a brand new video on this channel, and we upload updates here every single solitary week with no exceptions and no excuses. If you want to get some free stocks on me, all free, use those links down below in the description of this video. You sign up with the brokerage platforms or Robinhood and or Webull, you'll get some free stocks, some valued up to thousands of dollars in some cases. So let us know what stocks you get. And if you want to connect with me on social media, I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook. Use those social links down below. I look forward to meeting you there, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Take care for now.